Yes, it's another time here on the ABS radio, television, and of course, social media platforms. I am Don Onyenji, your friend here every Sunday. Anytime is possible, and today is possible. Welcome to the program, Issues. Well, as you know, we've been following the political developments in Nigeria critically. And of course, the atmosphere has been charged very well. Parties have conducted their primaries. Disappointments have been there. Well, some have been enjoying it, celebrating their victory from the primaries. Others have been agitating. Hey, it didn't go well. Some are charging the new electoral law that kind of broke the wings on some politicians that would have also elected, been part of the primary process. And of course, some agitations have increased. Anxieties also are there. Tantrums have been thrown here and there. Some people have crossed carpets from one political party to another. And of course, well, there's this issue of suspicion. Go first before I go. No. I wait for you, you go, and all of that. And some other issues you also are aware of out there. In this edition of the program, let us look at the Nigeria's political space with particular reference to the 2023 general elections that will produce the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, other positions like senators, governors, House of Reps, and state assemblies, and all of that. Anambra is free watching. That is on the gubernatorial candidacy. But for the other positions, they are going to be contested in 2023. Here in our studios, we have two gentlemen that are going to look at this issue. Both of them experienced in their own fairs. Close to me is a professor of political science. Yes, I wouldn't know whether whatever is happening today has challenged political theories we ever knew. The professor of political science will tell us that today. I'm talking about Professor Basil Okechukwu. I said Professor of Political Science and former Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University, Anambra State. He was formerly HOD of the Political Science Department. Prof, you're welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Nigerians.
And also from the field, a man with field experience, immense one, a political leader, a politician. He's an entrepreneur, yes, but we're talking politics. And he's been in the field. He's a former chairman of Agwata local government area. And he's been everywhere in his own party. We're not talking about party politics, particularly with party. But let me say, he's been a zonal chairman of the APGA, All Progressives Grand Alliance. I just have to say that, so we know his roots. But I'm sure most of them have tested some other parties along the way. Chief Titus Adibog, you're welcome to the studios. I'm sure APGA has not been the only party you've tested.
We've come a long way.
Okay, you put it like that, a long way.
Yes.
Okay, perhaps let's take with you, Ugumba. Since you just said you started a long way, can you give us your view about what's going on in the Nigerian political space? We're going to go specifics though, but we're talking about the primaries haven't gone, and then elections, victories, candidates have been chosen by the parties. Yeah, there are still some dusts being raised, some of them, Let's talk about the presidency first. Yes.
Thank you, Don. That is the good side, the sweetness of democracy. You will agree with me that by this time, 4 years ago, Buhari was on it. Every other article versus P2B. And so we are heading towards another election year. In fact, the process has just started. The primaries has come and gone, and presidential candidates have been elected, and so far so good. The three major parties have their candidates, at least. Atiku for PDP, Tinubu for APC, Professor Justice Umade for ABGA, P2 for Labour Party. So the game have just started. But I think by 15th of July they will do their final substitutions. By then we would have known who are their running mates.
Okay.
So far, so good. The primaries, and like you said in your introductory speech, it has come, and we are watching from now till February when these elections will really come. Last night, I was watching collection of results from Ekiti State, and it went well from what we saw on television. So. Nigeria is really moving forward democratically.
Okay, Prof, your take.
Well, the one thing that is certain in the current dispensation is that every field of studies is being challenged by Nigerian politics. There are a lot of issues that are coming up that are actually either validating what we already know or trying to question what we already know. New concepts which we have seen now in our field is this level of standing for me. I'm coming. You don't know who is coming. So that uncertainty. But one thing I find interesting in the current dispensation is that uncertainty all over the place. But that is the character of election. Election is an organized uncertainty. Nobody is certain about what is going to come at the end of the tunnel. And that organized uncertainty, the moment it becomes certain that a particular situation will emerge, becomes problematic. So we are very happy in that very respect, that the election is becoming what it ought to be, an organized uncertainty. Neither in the PDP, nor in the APC, nor even the Labour, had we the knowledge of what will be at the end. But everybody got jittery to the extent that one of the parties had to bust out, look, what I'm seeing is not working, and then he has to shout, threatening. Before now, everybody began soft paddling. But it's because of that uncertainty. So, all in all, I think we're beginning a new era in politics in Nigeria with the massive turnout of the young ones now trying to dominate the political space. Well, they may not contest, but they will decide what happens in this country. So far, so good. I think it's an interesting development all over across the spectrum in Nigeria's political space.
Okay, we will reserve the one about the young ones because it appears that the upstairs didn't content them. They now came back to downstairs.
But
and now decided to do the grassroots and all of that.
Yes.
A kind of revolution from
Exactly,
down.
from the ground.
Perhaps let's hope from bottom to top. Let's see whether it's going to click. Well, let me not reserve it for later. You talked about, let's hit it before I go to another issue. Prof, you talked about young people. Where are they?
Yes, if you recall,
Because I've not seen them.
how they are there.
Tinubu is, sorry, with due respect to him, a grandfather.
Yes.
Atiku is a grandfather. And we have not seen. Where are the young people?
Well, for sure, the young people are there. At least I know. Okay, you've just counted these two dominant parties that have dominated the political space. What about other political parties? There are other political parties in the spectrum that are young. I want to mention, for instance, our own, the Labour, our own man, Obi himself. He's a young man.
Yeah.
So it is a beginning. And if you watch the trend of things within that political space, you find that although, just like everybody continues to say, these elections are not won on the social media. It's not won. You have to go to your unit,
Yes.
to the polling unit. That's where the action is. But we are not yet there for what do you call it, campaigns. By the time we get to campaigns, we see what happens. If you find what is happening, and even the young ones are becoming very conscious, politically conscious, unlike what you had before.
Yeah.
Before, they're just simply at the background waiting for who is going to hire them to do some business or whatever. Full stop. But this time around, they're coming out fully, trying to engage, even campaigning, even when the campaign has not even started. And so I think I won't call them that are at the background. They are coming out, they are beginning to come out, and that's what it is.
Okay, beautiful. Ugumba Gwata, let's look at the failed prospects of having the candidates, especially of the major parties from Igbo extraction, that were failed. We thought APC, PDP would have picked their candidates from the southeast.
Yes.
All efforts, all hopes, all jugglings and the networkings and all of that seemed to be on crashed. Your thoughts?
Thank you, Don. I think the people, the Igbos, or may I say the people of Southeast, would really have to go back to the drawing board, stop this bread and butter politics. You will agree with me that the Yorubas, what they are enjoying now is being steadfast. From 1954, 52, 50, during the era of NCNC, what is the name of the action group, MPC, after the carpet crossing in the West, the West went back, organized themselves. They have been in the opposition all this while. Remember, in 1963-64, during the Obga days, by 1979, the Southeast went into alliance with MPN to form government NPN MPP alliance. In 1991, we have SDP and then RSC, so there was no room for regional politics in that period. And you will recall that since 1999, Igbos and the North have been dominating the PDP. So the Yorubas persevered, stayed back, get their places organized, get hold of their region, and at the end of the day, come up to the federal level and negotiated power. And that is what they're enjoying now. So I think the Southeast really have to stop this bread and butter politics. Possibly to choose a political party. Abga is there, Labour is coming on now. We must not be at the presidency at every time. If, for instance, a Southeasterner is put on that seat or voted into that seat today, he might not have the power to exercise the powers of that presidency because the political leveraging and everything will not be there. So in politics, it's game of alliance and realignment and trying to talk with people. It's not the thing you do on the pages of newspaper or social media. Our people should not worry. We have to come back. We have about 5-6 states because Delta and River State is part of the former Eastern area. Let our people get our people organized under an umbrella so that we can go into alliance.
Sorry. Sorry, Gumba. You're talking about South.
No, you're talking about. You said Igbo presidency.
Yes, but the governor of River State has denied that he's an Igbo man. Wike. He said he's not an Igbo man.
What did you call him?
But why is he denying? Because if we talk about the South people, like you said,
yes,
we are sure they are Igbo. Akafanko.
They are Igbo.
Toro to me, I'm a chief aga.
But now that
n'ezienu nke anyị kpọ n'ọhazi ka iwe ebele Jonathan mana olusie na omume onye ọbụla achị n'ihe aka ya or something like that place in the gallery.
Wike has been speaking from both sides of his mouth.
Yes.
When he was trying to sack IPOB from Obibo and parts of Rivers State, he claimed he was not an Igbo man. But now that he wanted to have a shot at the presidency, he said he's an Igbo. So basically, what is his name? Is it not Wike? Yes, so Wike. So whether it's glucose or glucose, what we know, they are part and parcel of the Igbo nation. Maybe it's because of some of them feeling we cannot protect them. That is why they are running the other way. But they should know that when we come together as a big force, like the Yorubas, those are not, they don't speak Yoruba, but they always vote towards Western parties or ideology. So what I'm trying to say is nobody should worry about what is happening. Let them have the presidency, but with the little we have, at least we have some governors like the new governor of Anambra State now who is focused. In the next 4 years, let us see what Soludo and possibly the people who will come on board after this general election next year. What they should be able to come together, forge a new leadership style for the Igbos. Then at the end of the day, go into alliance. These things are very simple. The Igbos have been aligning with the North to help them get to where they feel they have to use the Yorubas, and they have succeeded in using them this past 8 years, giving it back to the Yorubas now, though nobody knows what plays out in the next election. That is the way I look at it.
Okay, the governor of Ebonyi State, Umahe, he was lamenting that he was disappointed by Umunye, and times leading to the election, it was clear that there's no cohesion among Ndibo. Perhaps, Prof, like you said, there's no cohesion. That's the summary of what you just said.
Yes, that
we are not together. Yes, well, pick it up from there.
That is, we don't have a front from a base from where we can collectively forge into the national politics. So what we have often are individual goals. Everybody wants to achieve his own goal, regardless of what is where. So nobody's interested in the collective endeavor of the Eastern part. But of course, it is in our nature. It is in our nature. And that is why even the governor who was complaining, it was among the first that began the politics of individualism.
Yes.
So he began it. And so he has no right to complain. He began it. But the fact that in spite of what is happening within what he went to the PDP, to APC to get, he couldn't get it. So what is it all about? So I think my opinion on this matter is that it's our nature. And it will be difficult for us to come out from it. But you see, part of the reason, I want to tell you the reason. The reason is that our people have not been able to see somebody credible enough behind whom they can stand. And I want to come back to what is happening that way. Maybe we will not win elections. When they see somebody who is credible, minimally credible, the people will line up. And that is what is happening with one of us now. People will line up. So that anything, no matter even when he's doing something wrong, anybody that raises a voice against that is already in trouble. So I think the part of the problem we have had all along for this individualism is that we have not found somebody that can stand in the front and tell us, come on, and people can back him up. So fortunately, if we are going to be in the national politics, it is not just simply by the way we are doing it now. One of the most important things I think we have got to do, the entire Southeast, we come for a while say, okay, federal government, stay on. If Anambra State develops itself, becomes an attraction. If Imo State develops itself, becomes an attraction. In fact, the entire Southeastern states, They'll be begging us from the center, please come and lead this nation. It will be a beg. So if we concentrate on our state, that's the essence of federalism. Let's forget about the discrepancies we have within it. If we concentrate on our state and develop it to the point where it becomes a maker of Nigeria, believe me, they will be asking, begging, not begging, come and lead. So I think part of the reason is leadership failures within our ranks and files. Everybody is so individualistic. He wants to what is going to benefit him and not what is going to benefit the community.
Okay, it sounds interesting actually, and that gives both of you have given hope. Chief Anebogo said, by the time we get to the next 4 years, and then after the next election, seeing who and who may have won elections in the rest of the states in the southeast, the makeup of those governors though, and then with Professor Soludo solidly on ground here, with a vision to make Anambra smart megacity livable, lovable, prosperous. If all these things with good leadership will solidify Anambra, making Anambra the mecca of the entire country and even global community, because definitely, because I know personally, I know what's coming on ground now because I'm part of the team. I know what is in stock from the Anambra, and once it happens, I believe that what you just said will happen. Because ndị Igbo chọrọ onye na-agafe n'esie. No. Ọ bụrụ nke onye kọlọrọ keta osi na one room nke face me and face you or cross on ebe ni. Ọlọzọzọ na-enwe ndị yard. Well, will be now the trustworthiness of the electoral process is next. It appears people are getting more confident on the electoral process that the vote cast will count. Yes, Prof.
Yes, I think that's one of the most significant things that has happened. I was just watching the Ekiti election, and the usual crisis we have with beavers, there was not much. And I was so excited. In fact, yesterday I was so excited, I said, we're going to have a perfect election in 2023. And with the kind of technology that is available right now, if they sustain it, people will go to vote. Most of the time, people don't go to vote because they say, vote will count.
Yes.
But now votes are counted. I think we have a bright future in this country as far as election is concerned.
Okay, Ugumba, do you think so?
My own, I have a different view. What I want to talk about is about the Buma, the leadership and followership. And you see, when people, the Baza election, they should remain in their party.
Okay.
Right? Ojuku Fibal Abga from them. Then people like His Excellency Peter, you say Abga for 8 years and left. They also use Abga great to power, they leave. So
Victor May has left.
And then in the Yoruba, it's an election or got primary there. It's not in a party, So be the party. Ogo Tunumbu and their ways, Hapulo, both ACN and Kiava Fabagase, their party. Their structure was intact. That is what the Igbo man should try to establish. Create a leadership so that the followership, the masses will have trust on them. You can have top politicians, they can go governor. They bar, a party in care, which are governor. Even minister, you feel a man minister through this particular party. You might get the other one for you to be minister. If now you are not sincere, I think the new beginning in Anambra State, Ojuku left something for us here. Like our left, our East, the ideology for the Yorubas.
Yes.
And they have used it to move on and forward. Prof, no one know na ivory tower no never design something like an ideology, something gab a kind of role model. And I say this is the person I'm following. Politics is not all about bread and butter or how much you make or the kind of cars and an email acquire. If you didn't babble for the Igbo man, I will tell you that Tinubu made money when they were governor, but before they became governor, they were penniless. But their people trusted them. That is why they have achieved a lot.
And they have not left their people.
They have not left their people.
Come on, they put more persons, empowered them in politics.
Them.
That's why Tinubu is the god today.
So
to speak, for them.
They go and vote. They go and vote somewhere else because someone even if I believe in it. So we must have an ideological base.
Okay.
So that is the way I look at it.
Thank you. Nandia Gwalukwen, the professors theories far go broken. No, far back to the even the professors of political science and the by Vaje Kamano we can see the work ever. Now Nigerian politicians they break all known political theories.
I had a walk. We have a governor in Anambra State.
Yes, that understand. Yeah.
We have a governor in Anambra State now, plan because if you don't plan to do it, then you plan to fail. You must plan a plan gestation period. That gestation, if the result now, but the harvest are there
and that is the belief and confidence I am in Anambra today. Arinze the new governor. We are going somewhere.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Professor Basil Okechukwu Nwankwo, for coming. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Chief Titus Manibogo Gumbagwata, for coming, sir.
Thank you very much.
Amen. I remain yours truly here, Don Onyenji, and thanks to Sejup for the sponsorship.